Hello and welcome to Mr. Clicks Flicks. I'm your host, as always, Mr. Clicks, working every day to bring you the best HeroClix channel available on YouTube. And today's video is another episode of HeroClix Huddle, and we're going to do a review slash just generally talk about the brand new Avengers ID cards. Right now, the only ones that are available are the ones that you got at U.S. Nationals or Canadian Nationals, and they are Shang-Chi, Daredevil, and Ares. And then, so the front of the cards, they're actually like a hard plastic credit card type thing. So the front of the card will have the character that it's for, the back of the card, and don't bother pausing the video to try to get the code. I already put that in. Has the name of the name of the character, the real name of the character, the point cost, which is 5 points for all of them. It has the inspiration underneath that, and they're different for they're unique for each character. Then underneath that, it has the setup, so like basically the rules on how these work, and the call to help, which is like basically how to bring them into the game. And then the inspiration is right under where the real names are. Again, unique. And then how the inspired stuff works is all the way at the bottom, and then all the way at the bottom is the code for the card to get the little achievement. So these are not a relic or a resource. So you could run a power battery, an entity, and however many of these. Well, the part of the rules is you can only have one of these per character on your force. Now I have to put the question into WizKids or look it up to see if it was asked. If you have one character and a entity, if that counts as two characters for the purposes of these, because that'd be a different thing, because one way you'd only get one, the other way you could potentially have two. And then these are going to be in the next 3 Marvel HeroClix sets. And then easy way to know which ones will what ID cards will be in what set is actually if you go on the WizKids event system now and you click on the achievements and you click on the ID cards, just scroll down, you'll see where it says the ID cards, and you expand the menu. It will have all the different ID cards that you could put in. So easy way to get some spoiler alerts on upcoming sets. But okay, about these, if they're powerful, worth using, should you just sell them and get rid of them? These are ridiculously powerful. When I first saw the video that I believe everybody else would have seen from WizKids, and it demonstrated the ability, I was like, that seems like it could be really powerful. I need to, read the back of the card, know the rules inside and out, because, if it was going to be like a relic where it was one per, you could only use that or a resource, they weren't going to be as viable for competitive. But upon further inspection, you can use this with all that stuff. So for 5 points, you can give one person on your team a power action to bring in one of your sideboarded characters with the ID cards of equal or lesser points. They can be the same point value for 1 turn and give them 1 action. And that happens at the beginning of your turn. So I don't know how they decided that that's how they're going to rule it, but it happens before poison. You can still sidestep and do all kinds of stuff, like it happens before all your other beginning of the turn powers. Now, aside from the inspirations for each individual guy, which can get ridiculous, like Daredevil has can give improved can use leap climb, improved movement ignores hindering, and improved targeting ignores hindering. Shang-Chi gives precision strike and modified attack values by +1 when making a close combat attack. And Ares adjacent characters can use steel energy with close and range combat attacks. So that's steel energy is huge, especially late game. And that's what we're going to talk about these. So I recently just my venue Tuesday nights are like the fun night, casual night. Pretty much everybody gets the prize anyway, so you can play what you want. I use the convention, Doctor Strange, the AVX Scarlet Witch, and AVX Spider-Man Spider-Man, because I'd never used them before, and I also used my Shang-Chi and Daredevil cards because I'd never used them either. So I was having a night where, other than Scarlet Witch, I hadn't used anybody ever on the team, and just wanted to see, have some fun. Um, so what I can tell you is that these are indeed super powerful, the ID cards. So for one power action, you can bring a guy in, and let's say you're playing a Mystics character and you're on a really good click that you don't want to go off of. Bring in this guy, bring in the guy with the power action, hit the Mystics character. The guy you brought in for 5 points takes the Mystics click, and then that's it. Then nothing happens. So it's good for avoiding Mystics damage. Another way that these were super good and really proved their value to me was late game. There was a time when my Scarlet Witch was really beat down. She was on her last click, second to last click, something like that. Brought in Shang-Chi with his 12 attack and 2 damage, and he has Close Combat Expert and Precision Strike. Close Combat Expert his damage up and hit the guy for 4 damage. Won me the game with that. And all that costed me was 5 points. And it's just really good for attack values too. Like I said, with the late game Scarlet Witch, her attack and damage values were down. Same thing in a different game. I had a Spider-Man that was beat down to a 9 attack for, I think, 2 damage, and it wasn't getting stuff done. And my opponent had super senses, so I brought in the 108-point Daredevil, and he has Precision Strike, and KO'd my opposing character because I had Precision Strike. So these have the ability to bring in the right power at the right time and make an attack, and make an attack in a way where it costs you 5 points, but you figure if you have a lot of figures that are 7 clicks, six clicks long, are 100 points. All right, so that's a little less than 20 points a click, like 18 points, something like that. 18 points. We'll just go with 18. Sorry if I'm wrong, math people. You know who you are. Correct me in the comments. Get the actual number. 18 points is what it would cost you for a click of Mystics damage. You use this guy, it only costs you 5. All right, so you're taking, 13. They're getting 13 less points than they would off of you, if you want to think about it that way, which is how, when I play, I think about that stuff, is how many points am I giving away on this click. So it's super good for Mystics. Really good for if your guys beat down late game, to take give you better stats, and then also the ability to get a power when you want it in the game is just silly. It's really good. And then another thing is recently, I think last week maybe, Manifold was previewed for Avengers Assembled, which, by the way, I'm going to have an unboxing for. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully sometime next week. I haven't heard that it was delayed or anything, so we'll see. But Manifold was previewed, and he can carry up to 3 characters if they share a keyword with him. And he's only 58 points, so he's really low point level. But my point is that he also is going to have an ID card. So think about this. Think about your opponent sends out a figure, ends up, you positioned wrong, your entire team's tied up. Well, for 5 points, you can bring in Manifold, like you're running an Avengers team in this example. You pay 5 points, you bring in Manifold, you can carry the whole team away. And then nothing. Then their whole strat, they have to reposition at that point. Or let's say your team really lacks movement, and at the beginning of the game you want to get out there. You power action, bring out Manifold, carry your whole team to wherever it is you wanted to go. 8 squares. I think he's got a 10 movement. And then at the end of the turn he goes away, or at the beginning of your next turn he goes away, and you only had to pay 5 points to move 3 people, 8 squares. So they're really powerful. As far as meta goes, I've been toying around with them a lot. I don't know how many other people are. I think I like the 100-point Daredevil from the Fast Forces for the ID card better than the 108-point, just because I tend to run a lot of figures that aren't over 100 points, although I haven't done that. I just tend not to generally. but the other one has Outwit and a couple other powers that I like a little bit better, and I think would be more helpful. Shang-Chi will also be on a lot of teams. So that's all I have for you guys today about the ID cards. Make sure to pick them up, look for them in the next couple sets. As always, please remember to like, comment, and above all, subscribe so that you can be one of the first people to view my HeroClix videos as they become available. Till next time, please remember that it's only critical miss if you don't have probability control.